Hello everyone. So on this day we went to the Siffleur Falls. The Siffleur Wilderness area was created sometime around 1961, and it's a pristine landscape covering about 425 square kilometers. To reach the area, you have to walk through the Kootenay Plains Ecological Reserve. The area contains the Siffleur River, which flows into the North Saskatchewan River, which supplies Edmonton's drinking water. Here is a map of the area. Close to the highway is the Kootenay Plains Ecological Reserve. The Siffleur River ends there and extends into the Siffleur Wilderness area. Both of the rivers were very swollen with melting runoff. Here we're still walking through the Kootenay Plains, and this river is the North Saskatchewan River. This flows eventually into Lake Winnipeg in Manitoba. So of course I had to dip my fingers into the water to feel a brief connection with my home province. The Kootenay Plains, like the name suggests, is a flat area, and walking through it, it's not quite as dramatic as some of the surrounding areas with all the mountains. But it is a montane natural subregion, which is quite rare in Alberta. Here we are crossing the first of the two bridges on the trail. This suspension bridge is actually quite sturdy despite the see-through metal. I managed to identify a few of the flowers. This one is a great blanket flower. Part of the area has a boardwalk to help prevent erosion, and it still leads you through the area and lets you view a lot of wildflowers. Moved from the sort of plains area. Now we're heading back into forest. In the cool, moist areas in the forest, we managed to see some sparrow's egg lady slippers. This one is the common red paintbrush. The second bridge is much shorter, as it crosses the smaller Siffleur River. There was a section of the trail that was actually quite flooded from the river.
See no fence.
The main trail leads up a hillside for a while. In the cool morning air, it was fine to be on, but once the sun comes over the mountains, the area gets quite hot. Even up here, we could hear the river flowing in the canyon below. And the hillside gave us an amazing view of the valley before heading back into the forest. The white patch in the distance is the 2 o'clock ridge. I was impressed by the root system from these trees. At this point, we followed an unofficial trail down to the edge of the canyon. The bedrock under the area ranges from the Proterozoic to Lower Jurassic ages. The Siffleur River sits in a huge canyon with its dramatic slope, which was carved out by glaciers initially. Looking back, I am not sure I would recommend walking that close to the trail alongside the canyon. Even though it gives some great views, one wrong step or tripping on a root could result in falling, and I don't see how anyone could stop themselves from plunging into the fast-flowing river. And there have been fatal accidents in the past, as indicated by a couple of plaques at the trailhead. The rock formations were truly amazing, and the mist from the falls was refreshing. And here is proof that I was there. There was a small island full of fireweed in the river which looks like it's normally accessible, as someone had built a small electric on the edge. You can see it surrounded by the water. Here's a warning sign about the end of the official trail and to take care going forward. We spotted some more sparrow's egg lady slippers. At this point, it was still enough of a trail to follow through the tall pines. But we continued to see evidence that the river was overflowing its banks. got a little freaked out by the vibration underground.
You feel that, right? Under your feet? You feel that, right? Under your feet? You know what?
Yeah, here too, I feel it again. It's pretty strong. Oh my god!
I wonder, you know what? I bet you there's a channel right below.
It could be.
Yeah, because I don't feel it
Interesting.
now. As we got away from the water.
Yeah, because we're back on firmer ground, so.
The vibration could be felt actually a few meters from the
Yeah,
rock.
dude, it's lighter though.
Yeah, you do still feel it, yeah.
After noticing the vibration, we started to take note of the crack of the rocks that were being tumbled in the river. We wanted to trek up the entire trail, and all trails describes there being a third set of falls, but the trail actually becomes quite indistinct around a small tributary creek.
Look at that bank. It's like I'd love to go check it out, but it would probably collapse on me.
It's not far away.
At that point, we gave up continuing forward and we stopped for a snack and looked for traces of fossils in the rocks. The tributary creek was pleasant to listen to and take a moment to recover. We found a few interesting shapes. And we found this one, which we are pretty sure contains some sort of shells. And after enjoying a look, we put the rock back. Fossil and plant collection, like in most natural areas, is not permitted. Fortunately, there's no rule about taking video. After the break, we turned around to head back. The area is home to a wide variety of wildlife, although all that we saw that day was a raven foraging for ants. Here's a quick shot of the anthill that the raven was digging through. The sun was coming around, and it was supposed to get over 30 degrees that day. I think this is a spruce bog alpine butterfly, but I'm not 100% sure, and it didn't open its wings. It seemed like a bit of an elderly butterfly, judging by its lack of enthusiasm to move and its battered wingtips. We paused to look at the river canyon again, now that the light had come around. This was a very cool tree to perch on for a photo, but I ended up getting my hand covered with sap from the tree trunk. We also spotted some sort of weird cricket. I couldn't identify it. If anyone knows what it is, let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching.